seconds to go. And down goes Macia.
Left hook.
Left hook by
Lamont the Reaper Roach!
Boxing has always been a sport of underdogs, fighters who rise from the shadows, shocking the world when they finally get their shot. Lamont Roach is no exception. Born and raised in Washington, D.C., Roach's boxing journey started early. The son of a former fighter, he was introduced to the sport before he could even spell the word champion. But for Roach, boxing wasn't just about following in his father's footsteps. It was about carving his own path, one that would demand patience, resilience, and the ability to fight through the long road of being an underdog. By the time he turned professional in 2014, Roach had already built an impressive amateur resume, becoming a multiple-time national champion with over 100 wins. From the beginning, he was different from the flashy, self-promoting young stars emerging in the sport. Roach wasn't about hype. He wasn't about trash talk. He was about work. And that mindset carried him through the ranks as he quietly climbed toward title contention. But boxing isn't just about talent. It's about moments. And Roach's first moment came in 2019 when he stepped into the ring against Jamel Herring for the WBO super featherweight title. It was his first real test on the world stage, his first chance to prove that he wasn't just another contender, he was a champion in waiting. Roach fought with the poise of a veteran, pushing Herring into uncomfortable moments. But in the end, experience won out. Herring walked away with a unanimous decision victory, and Roach walked away with a lesson. He was good, but to be great, he had to evolve. That loss didn't break him, it fueled him. Since then, Roach has only improved, tightening his defense, refining his counterpunching, and showing a hunger that suggests he hasn't forgotten the feeling of losing that title shot. He's gone 5-0 since the Herring fight, including a statement win against former world champion Rene Alvarado, proving he's ready for another run at the top. Roach is not the kind of fighter who overwhelms opponents with sheer aggression. His game is built on patience, on timing, on knowing exactly when to throw and when to move. He thrives on counterpunching, using subtle defensive shifts and precise angles to frustrate opponents. He doesn't waste punches and doesn't get drawn into reckless exchanges. Everything is measured, controlled, and calculated. This is where his sparring background comes into play. Roach has spent time in the ring with some of the most talented fighters in the sport, including Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. And when you watch him fight, you can see that influence. The economy of movement, the calm under pressure, the ability to stay sharp deep into fights. Roach's best performances have come against fighters who allow him to operate at his own pace. Against Angel Rodriguez, he showcased elite patience, waiting for openings and landing clean counters every time Rodriguez overreached. Against Rene Alvarado, he controlled the range, refusing to get lured into a brawl. But that's where Gervonta Davis presents a nightmare matchup. Davis doesn't give opponents time to think. He forces action, cutting off the ring and making fighters fight at his pace, not theirs. Roach isn't used to being hunted, and against a finisher like Davis, that could be a major problem. What's next for Lamont Roach? If Roach somehow pulls off the upset, his career changes overnight. He becomes one of the most talked about fighters in boxing, earning title shots against the biggest names in the lightweight and super featherweight divisions. But if he loses, his career trajectory depends on how he loses. If he goes 12 rounds, making Davis work for the win, he still leaves with credibility. A loss by decision means he's still a major player in the division. But if he gets stopped, if Davis runs through him the way he's run through almost everyone else, the road back becomes much harder. Boxing is unforgiving, and the spotlight moves quickly. Roach can't afford a bad loss. Roach is a fighter with skill, heart, and experience. But Gervonta Davis is a different beast. Roach has never been hit by someone like this, never had to deal with this level of power, pressure, and finishing ability. The ring is waiting. The stage is set. But when that first bell rings, will Lamont Roach be ready for what's coming? Can Roach shock the world? If you haven't heard it, watch this next video to see our final prediction.